Psalm 91:1 says, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." And that secret place isn't one place, and it's not a location, it's not a special way of thinking, but the secret place really is individual. It's something that we need, something individual that we need with God. It's where we know that we're at a place where God can listen to us and we can listen to Him, or to get alone and just meditate. And at any time of life, especially the way things are right now, it's so important that we have a secret place, this point where everything comes together, where my focus is not just on myself, but I'm able to focus on the kingdom and my role in that kingdom. And while I'm not striving, we're not striving to be great, but we're striving to exalt Him. Because when we exalt Him in our mind, He becomes greater for our individual purpose. And I'm thankful for that. He that dwelleth in the secret place shall abide. He'll be there. He'll be established. Exodus 33:21, "Behold, there is a place by me, and thou shalt stand upon a rock." God is telling Moses, there's a place I have. It's a location. It's cut out for you. And you'll stand by me, and I'm going to put you in a stable place. Moses was as close to God as a man could possibly be. He came to a place so close that God had to limit his senses. He said, "I'm going to put my hand over you because there's just a part of me you can't see and still survive." That's as close as possible. But in our daily life, we must find our secret place. We must go there. It must be that place. A child, kids, they have their forts they like, and it might be in the house, it might be out of the house. I remember one time my place was in the backyard behind some shrubs, and we'd cleared out a little bit of ground up against the fence. And for a while, that was the clubhouse. That was the secret place. And we called it a secret, and we went and told everybody about it. But it's a place where we just carved out and thought that was a special place. But in this, any day we live, and I know almost every week I refer to the pandemic, but really it doesn't matter what we're going through. Everybody needs that place that is their secret place. It might be in your car on the way to work, on the way home from work, but we got to have that place in our life where we stop and we just negotiate with God. We ask Him for the things we need. We take all of our cares to Him, and we trust Him to take care of us. Exodus 33:22 and 23, He said, "And it shall come to pass while my glory passeth by, that I will put thee in the cleft of the rock, and will cover thee with my hand while I pass by. And I will take away my hand, and thou shalt see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen." Moses was as close as a man could be to the glory of the Almighty God. You couldn't get any closer than that right there. And, whenever Absalom rebelled against his father, there was a battle that ensued. And it was so unfortunate because it all came down to a young man that felt like he was being pushed away by his father for the deeds that he had done. And it all was connected to other events. And sometimes we might want to ignore the other events that leads us to separation. But one of the things about God, and David was a man after God's heart, but he was not without mistakes. He was human. But these things work when it's about me and God. I don't have to beg God to let me come and be in His presence. And there was a division between David and Absalom because of how Absalom had behaved, and it had roots that went deep. But with our God, all we've got to do is just desire to be in that secret place by Him. And the only reason it's a secret, it's a place that we know. And it's a place we can go that our enemy cannot interfere and that we can connect with God. We worship together, and I think that's great. We had a great service yesterday, and my, what a move of God that we had. But even though we worship together, we ascend, we go higher alone. It's in those private moments with God that we feel him at a different level and in a different place, and we ascend with him. And this is a place where young people, it's very important for them to learn to invest in this plan of asking and receiving and then being thankful. And as adults, of course, we must do that also, but we should know that if you dwell, make it your home. If you dwell in that place, you will abide. That means you're going to be there. If you learn how to carve that niche out, you're going to be there. And you need to abide until God, he said, I'm going to put my hand over you to Moses, and then I'm going to take it away and you can see my back parts. Sometimes we abide and we don't always get to see what we want to see. We don't get to have the results we want to have. But at least we're abiding and we're right next to him. In Matthew 20, in verse 20 through 28, the mother of Zebedee's sons came to Jesus and with her sons, and she's kneeling down. She asked something of him. And he said to her, what do you wish? And she said, grant that these two of sons of mine may sit, one on your right and one on your left hand, when you come into your kingdom. But Jesus answered and said, do you not know, what you ask? Are you able to drink the cup that I'm about to drink and be baptized with the baptism that I'm baptized with? And she said, yeah, we're able, without examining it, without understanding perhaps all the repercussions and all what was involved. So he said, you will indeed drink my cup and be baptized with the baptism I'm baptized with. But to sit on my right hand and on my left is not mine to give, but for those to whom it is prepared by my Father. And when the 10 heard it, they were displeased with the two brothers. But Jesus called them to himself and says, you know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and those who are great exercise authority over them. Yet it shall not be so among you. But whosoever desires to become great among you, here's the secret place. He said, you must be the servant. Let him be your servant. And whoever desires to be first, let him be the slave. He says, just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and give himself a ransom for many. He kind of flipped it upside down and said, if you want to get, to a high place, you've got to humble yourself. And if you want to be served, you got to serve. That's the secret, is that it's not the way it is in our life. It's different. We have to humble ourselves to go high. We have to go low to go high. We have to serve to be served. He says, and when Jesus answered, he was saying, this is the place where we struggle. And it's for those that God has prepared. And we must strive. Now that word, God has prepared, it's very important. We must strive for the life God's prepared for us. We sense it in a powerful move of God, and we feel the drawing. Every one of us, we feel that drawing. But I think then after it's over, and this is a Monday, after a very powerful service yesterday, two amazing services. Brother Hobson preached just powerfully. If you haven't heard that message, you need to go right now and hear it. Oh my goodness, what a great, powerful, and so timely. But those are the things, services like yesterday, those are the kind of services that draw us into that secret place, that makes us realize, I see where I got to go. I see my place. I'm going to walk there now and sit down in that secret place with him, because my God is drawing me to him. In the old days of travel, we'd stop at service stations for that car to be serviced and buy a map. And I remember having to do that, pull over, and I'd get a map. And, I had a map of Texas, then I had a map of the United States. And I had to use that map. I'd have to stop and just, my goodness, how things have changed now. You just have to have a phone and you're in business, but you had to open it and learn how to read it and learn the colors of the roads and to see which road you were on and which one you needed to be on. Being in a place and living for God. Perhaps waking up this morning it's something that we might need to remind ourselves. We need to have our map. We need to understand where it is that we're needing to go, but we have to ascend the mountain. In other words, it takes an effort to get into that mode of listening to God. I need to open His Word. I need to get involved in His Word. And with God, it's opposites. The lower you go, the higher you get. In other words, you humble yourself to be exalted. You go low. God, I'm coming to you, on your terms. Paul said in Romans 7:18, in me dwells no good thing. For the will is present with me, but how to perform that, I can't find it. I can't find it. We have the will to do the right thing, but the map, it belongs to God. And He's the God of the secret place. We have to get to that place by Him and say, what is it today? Where is it that you want me to be? You and you alone can discover that place, for yourself. He said in Matthew 23:11, the greatest among you shall be your servant, and whoever exalts himself shall be humbled, and whoever humbles himself, that one shall be exalted. So the way up is down. It's really the one who arrives is going to have to be God-centered and God-led and God-ordained. Romans 5:18 and 19, he said, therefore, as one trespass led to the condemnation for all men, so one act of righteousness leads to justification and life for all men. For as by one man's disobedience, and many were made sinners, so that by one man's obedience, the many shall be made righteous. So the prayer of that secret place is about His will over my will. It's not a place to go and give God all our petitions and say, here's my list, here's my grocery list, here's all my demands. But the secret place really is saying, Lord, I need your will to be done. And it said in Luke 22:40, he said, and when he is at that place, he said to them, pray that you enter not into temptation. And he was withdrawn from them about a stone's cast and kneeled down and he prayed, saying, Father, if thou be willing, remove the cup from me. Nevertheless, not thy will, not my will, but thine be done. And that's the prayer of the secret place, of every day. Getting into that secret place is, Lord, not my will, but thine be done. And I know we know this, but again, for me today, it's a reminder. I need it. My desire is replaced by God's purpose, and my purpose is interrupted by that higher cause and the higher calling. Father, if you're good with it, remove the cup. However, Lord, it's not my will, but thy will be done. The secret place brings us away from our, earthly bondage to a higher place and to a divine purpose. And I'm thankful today and any day that we have access to that secret place. God bless you.